She's not as perfect as she seems. Little Miss Insecurity. She longs for the chance to be beautiful without realizing, to look at her own reflection. She is already beautiful, but she longs for another's beauty. So much to the extent that she no longer sees her own beauty. Comparing herself to every small or big form of God's creation. Wondering why they were so beautiful, but not her. Even the trees spoke to her in disgust. The trees so full of pride, and her, a little midget, could never understand why God made her so. Was God torturing her? She'd often ask herself, why am I so ugly? As she stared at her reflection in the lake. Of course her perception and her reflection was warped. She did not have a mirror. She chose to look through the eyes of the lake to show her her beauty. The lake was untrue and showed her a false view of herself, and it made her believe that she was unlovable and a disgrace. Like the trees, the lake was mean and cruel. It fed off her sadness, told her she was nothing. The lake made her ugly. All the creatures in the forest had made her believe she was ugly. Her only mirror to see herself was of course the lake. A wrongdoing. Everything in the forest, everyone was warped, turned to wrong. They fed off her so. Of course, she believed she was not beautiful. All she ever looked was through the eyes of the warped souls, wrong, changed people, but never once looked through her own eyes, never looked within for her own beauty. Everyone else was beautiful on the outside, but cruel and selfish and hurt within. Lies that fed off flowers, people who pretended to care, but really in fact didn't. She was alone, but deep down she knew it was for the better, and that she was better off alone than to be with lying, pretending ugly tricksters. She was happier this way, at peace, so happy to have finally escaped the traps. The trap of wanting to be with people, but still end up being alone. Never being able to be by self. So afraid. The constant need for people, but still ending up alone and lonely. But her, she still found happiness within, and would rather be alone than to be with people and be hurt by them again. She found her beauty, and that was also when she found her light, her wonder, her hope. The small little midget. Who knew she could be so brave to be alone? When people try so hard to be with fake people and to not be themselves, then being alone rather than just being by themselves for a short little while. Why is it so hard for many to be with themselves in a fake world? We often sacrifice ourselves to feel the comfort of others, That sometimes the comfort we search for has to come from within. There are many things we cannot find externally in the world, and we have to rely on our own self and our own internal. Because only then will we find true hope. Only then will we find true happiness. Everything we search for has to come from within. The world is often shaded black and white. Not everything is as it is or as it should be. So many times we land up collecting false ways and false beliefs when we're trying to search for true peace. Everything must come from within. And if not, then this is all a lie.